I'm Carol Snyder. This is Tanasi Trace Alpacas on shearing day, and we're going to show you how easy it is to shear an alpaca. Come on in. We're going to start with cleaning our first alpaca. Okay, and this is Muriel, and she's good at cleaning the alpacas and training them. This is Muriel, and you see she's cleaning all the dust and dirt and leaves and whatnot, field materials off the animal, so that we're taking less dirt and more fiber when we actually do the shearing. She's pretty clean already. It's been cleaned off. We take them in, put them on a scale, and weigh them, and then we give medications according to their weight on an annual basis. So she will get CDT that protects her from the anaerobic bugs in the fields and also tetanus, and then she'll also get an anti-wormer today. So we're weighing her at the moment, and then we'll bring her onto the table to have her shorn. The process for shearing the animal, we have their medications. We have an ID marker, since I have quite a few animals, we need to know who they are. And then a bag to put the fleece in when we're finished shearing. So I have those things prepared beforehand, and we're going to go ahead now and lay her down on the table, and we'll show you what shearing looks like.
Okay, see if we can swing around. Okay, that's fine. Just roll over the good. There you go. Just find the other way.
I got it.
Okay.
You good up there? Don't worry about it. Okay.
Oh, a couple of minutes. That's okay. Just keep going like that.
Stretch your legs out a little bit.
Not more than that. You want to
Whoa.
I don't like an overstretch. Okay. Randy?
This one needs to come up a little bit higher. We're going to lose her.
That's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I guess she's okay.
She's calmer now than she was. Okay. This is an Acacia alpaca. They're very different from their cousins, the Surrey alpacas. This hair has a lot of crimp, and if you'd like to zoom in, you can see this. That gives it memory. This is a beautiful fleece. And what we're trying to do is take off the part that the spinners or the mills would use for garments and all. There are parts of the animal that we don't use for yarn. It's just either too short or too coarse. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is taking off the rim, the edge where there's coarse fiber. That's belly wool, partial, and edge fiber. Now we start the good stuff. The objective of the game here is to not get second cut. You want the animal to be clean when you finish it. blanket on an alpaca, it's from the point of the shoulder down to where the first elbow is on the animal. And over here from the knee over to the hip. I did skip some, the blades were giving me trouble, but you notice I did not cut them off in the fleece. That would give me second cuts, and we do not want second cuts. It messes up the yarn, it's just bad. So what I do, we go ahead and put the fleece in a sheet and get it out of here. Put it in a bag, protect it, because there will be second cuts flying for a little bit. I'm going to take these off in another corner. Everything under me or close to me is going to be second prime. Okay. That's what we call the prime of the fleece. The seconds, there's a difference between second cuts and second fiber. Second fiber is your net fiber. It's usually not as good, but it's still usable. So we still grade it differently and keep it separate from the prime. And there's a lot of it on this animal. And as with all, when you're dealing with curves on an animal, you're going to have second cuts on there sometimes, especially going up the neck like that. So what I do is take short things and leave the second cut. Excuse me. That's what we can get to safely on this side without ripping the fleece open.
Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. On the other side it's dirty, but on this side it's beautiful.
This is an alpaca after all. They do roll.
So this is the second fiber, still very usable, but definitely not what we want in the prime fiber, which is the stuff up against our skin when we make that finished product.
I'll be trimming her head separately. She's got a bite mark up here on her neck. On her neck. Somebody has gotten her. One way I do the dirt in here, and she's got plenty, is just roll it over that way and shake it out some. It helps. I'm going to leave that for a bit. Next thing I do is legs. They're very sensitive on their legs because that's where a predator in the wild would grab them. So sometimes it helps to have a little bit extra hands on the animal. Oh yes. You got a little shield. Yes. Easy definitely. We are shearing this animal strictly for fiber. Since these animals are only fiber producers, they go out, they don't need the extra leg wool. Just maybe a little bit to protect them from flies. We have bracelets or restraints on the animal. As you can tell, they're not always happy about this, but they're very comfortable. I do not allow overstretching the animals. That can really hurt the tendons in their legs. And if they're comfortable, they're not going to flail as much. She's not bad right now. Also, if you let the cord touch the belly of the animal, the cord vibrates and it scares them. So a lot of times you'll see me wearing the cord. I also trim tails because they can get to be looking too ratty sometimes. It also cleans out the manure and the vegetable treasures that they found. Yeah. Okay. Front leg. consider the leg wool waist. Some people can felt with it. In this case, it's quite long enough to do it. It's 3.5 inches. But it's still leg wool.
But never wasted.
Well, yeah. Okay. You have to be careful in the chest because there's little bits of skin down there, little flaps that are easy to catch with the clippers. So sometimes I will use scissors. Doesn't hurt, and it's much safer sometimes to do it that way. Okay, now I'm going to take off the rib. That is second cuts, pure and simple. And that's the problem you have with working with flat shears on a round surface. Okay, I'm coming up to the head.
Sam, I'm moving
Okay.
star.
Okay, I keep my leg over the animal's neck because they have been known to jump. First thing I like to do is check their eyes and see if the fiber is coming over their eyes. They need to see. If they can't see, yes, they are easier to catch, but it makes finding food and possible predators, things like that, a little harder to do. She has curls that are trying to curl into her eyes. It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't hurt to be nice to your animals while you're shearing them. It keeps them calmer. You notice it's very quiet here except for the shears. I don't like a lot of loud noises. They're not used to loud noises, and I want them as calm as possible while I'm shearing them. It just makes things a lot easier. Yes. Okay, hold on. No, you're fine. Okay, Carol Ann likes to leave some cheek wool on, so when I'm going to do the cheeks, I'm going to trim it down and bevel it. So, yes, there's one right there. Okay. And this is sort of like standing on your head, but get the ears out of the way. When I'm working around the face, I try to keep the eyes covered. A little more trim work here after we took the bevel on. There we go. I usually do both sides from one side, but it's okay to do one side, flip them over, and do the other. I do both sides because it's a little quicker. I've already gotten in position. Okay, we've got some good second wool here too. How do I look? Very easy. It's not the way I learned, it's the way we came up with as a result of the other way being too difficult. Randy, you ready? You pull them toward the middle line and you just roll them. There's no danger of them getting up. It's quick, it's simple. The second side is just like the first side. It's just not as much sideward to shear because you've already taken the seconds off.
Now that's a beautiful fleece. After we've gathered the blanket, we put it in the plastic bag, having marked the alpaca's name and the year that the fleece was sheared. And then I will bundle these up and come along and I'll show you the crop for 2013. This is just the beginning. We have about half the animals still to do, but as you can see, there's quite a few fleeces. After she's been showing completely, we go ahead and give her medications for this season. And I'm just looking for a spot on her that has a little bit of skin and not muscle. There she goes. She didn't like that. I'll give her medications. And then we'll put a collar on her so I know who she is now that she's shorn. She doesn't look the same. So I have a collar with her name on it. Off these little,
She has enough slack, probably. Off the ratchet straps.
Off the ratchet straps. And free her legs up.
You're free.
Okay, and then we just let her rise on her own. Good, sweet girl. Ta-da! One short. And there she is, ready to go back to the pasture. And grow more. And grow more. Freedom. Okay, thirds. There you go. And that's how hard it is to shear an alpaca.